Oh, yeah. I am awake and alive and alive.
I'm so great I gotta say it twice and cut it out once. My head's a syrup bottle that's getting tipped over every Wednesday. You're a storyteller in a storytelling podcast, and the only story you're telling now is a story about stories you don't want to tell! What the fuck? Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast, second attempt at this show, folks. I literally just talked for 18 minutes and said, you know what, scrap it. I don't want to put that out there. I don't want that out there for people to listen to. 18 seems long. It probably wasn't 18 minutes, but it sure seemed like 18. And that's why I stopped it, because it was only 1 minute, but it seemed like 18. And that would have been that's a slog for you guys to listen to. Nobody wants to ask you to sit there and listen to 18 minutes of audio crammed into 1 minute. Because what I did, I was talking downhill and I just kept talking. I don't think I breathed in the entire time that I was doing it. You can roll your eyes at me all you want. I know I didn't, and so it felt forced, which I did not like. I mean, the whole show is forced. I mean, because there's nothing. You know what? It's funny that I would say that, folks, and here's why. I say it felt forced. The entire show is forced because I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm just trying to keep up with my head as I talk. And so, when I do that, I wind up talking downhill, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and I like doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, if I feel that I'm not saying anything, completely not saying anything, then that's a problem. As in, like right now, when I'm not saying anything at all. Start it over. Let's do it over. No, I can't do it. You should have said. Did you save that chunk of audio that we just had? Oh, folks, that would have been a lost episode for you folks to listen to. But you don't want to hear that. Trust me. There was a whole lot of nothing. It was more of that, more of the same, more of this. Did you cross out the possible? Now I have to, because Lily she had already written down possible titles for the show. You know what? We should use them anyway. Even if I don't talk about it, use them anyway, because then people will know what the lost episode was about. This show's now just become like a murder mystery. Everybody's like involved in it. They're participating. Now, folks, let's all go down to the basement. Oh, what happened here? A body. We should do that someday. How great would that be? Like a walking tour of the oldest building in Hollywood, and we just like Theater of the Mind, dude. I'll tell you what. I'm not a books on tape dude. All right. I don't own them, but one time I listened to one. And it tainted me for all other books on tape for the rest of my life. Because here's what I heard. I was driving and doing stand-up, and some comedian handed me some tapes because I knew I had like a fucking 11-hour drive or something. Was it Naughton? I don't think it was Kevin Naughton. No, Kevin Naughton did an 11-hour drive with me, and he and I just made jokes the entire time. It was ridiculous. That was fun. That was totally fun. When you ride with somebody, it's great. But when you're driving for 11 hours, oh, dude, there's nothing. Although at the time, because you're young and you're like, this is going to be great when I'm a famous comedian. I don't have to do this anymore. If I had to do that now, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, remember when you were 20, you made the same drive, kill yourself. I know there are comics in the Midwest that are friends of mine that still do the runs and they still do those same places. And I can't even imagine in the silence of the car as you just hear that you see the road going by and you just stare from one end of Iowa to the other as you're going to do fucking Pepperoni's Comedy Club. How badly you wish there was a tree on the side of the road you could run your car into, but you can't because Iowa's so fucking flat. There's nothing to even kill yourself on. You have to flat yourself to death, literally. You have to hope that as you're driving, you can drive off the edge of Iowa into space and die. Although I had good shows in Iowa. What did I do in Iowa? I did good. I had a good show in Iowa City once, but then never mind. You don't care. No one cares about those shows.
Everyone cares.
Sure they do. I worked with a clown once. It's funny. You'll appreciate this. There was a guy named T.C. Hatter. Was that his name? And he was a mime. He was not a mime. He was silent. I don't even know if he might still be around. T.C. Hatter. He was a clown, and he had an assistant named like Marlena, and it was his wife. And and good for TC. He was a nice man, and his wife was really cool. Was that the name? Did I get it right? TC Hatter. It's funny. There's a guy named TC Tahoe too that I remember growing up, and I don't know if he was a radio host or whatever the fuck. TC Tahoe. I don't know. Dude, I got a lot of TCs in my brain. What'd you Google now?
I found him.
Who is he? What's his name?
TC Hatter.
TC Hatter. Told you, and he's like a clown, right? and he's got a painted face, and he's silent. His whole act is silent, and then he has the woman up there as the assistant. That's his wife, and she gets him through the whole deal. I worked with them a couple weeks, and they were so nice, and there's nothing worse than someone who's so nice that when you watch their act, you're going, oh my God, I would kill you if I paid to see this. I would absolutely want to storm the stage. I see these shows listed and I go, if I paid to get in and see that, and again, maybe I'm being spoiled. Maybe I'm being a guy, because I know comedians and I know very good comedians. And fuck, I'm pretty decent at it myself. So when I see someone who's just kind of getting through it, and look, by the way, I should say this. TC Hatter was extremely good at what he did. He and his wife were fantastic, and they killed the whole time, and it was really unique because it was if something can be really unique, it just can be unique, right? Nothing can be really unique. Unique alone says it. You don't need to qualify unique, correct? You don't need, look, unique does not need a qualifier, folks. All right. You don't need to put anything before unique. Unique is unique. And TC Hatter and his wife were unique. And they were great. They killed the 2 weeks I was with them, but it was not my cup of tea. So I would watch it, and I tried to have an open mind about it. And again, oh, by the way, this isn't even me now, old, jaded comedian who knows famous comedians. This was young me who thought I was the greatest comedian in the fucking world, and anybody who didn't do what I did was fucking terrible. So imagine the attitude that I had. I can't even imagine they got their act done with my attitude squeezing everybody out of the fucking room. My ego and my judgment, that it just sitting there in judgment of them, and just I can't even imagine how they were able to complete their task of making people laugh. But they killed it. But yeah, when I worked on the road with them, it was TC Hatter and I was it in Iowa? Yeah, at Sioux City at Pepperoni's, I think it was called. I think it was Pepperoni's Comedy Club. That's why I thought of them, because I thought of when I said Pepperoni's. Again, no one cares. Why am I get out of Iowa? I need to get the fuck out of Iowa. Wait, hold on, I can't. Oh, I'm in Fort Dodge, Iowa, where I took my wife's virginity. All right, let's move somewhere else. All right, that's a true story. She was on the road with me. And it's what's funny is it's like we were my wife and I when that happened, I was in Fort Dodge, Iowa to do stand-up. I remember we went to dinner, and then we did the comedy show, and then went back to the room, and then it turned into a thing where she was like, yeah, this is going to happen now, and I was like, are you sure? I don't know if you want this to happen, because I was also in that, I love my wife, but it was at that time where I was like, if you do this is a big deal. Like if taking somebody's virginity is a big deal. And at the time, we were having a great time, and we were dating, and we were, traveling the road. We hadn't been dating that long. I mean, let's face it, she wanted me to take it the first night. All right, because I'm just that powerful a guy. But somehow she held out until Fort Dodge, Iowa. Somehow she was able to fend me off. Fend herself off, actually. I was the one who was like, I can't do this. And she's like, no, you must. I show up, and there's like rose petals and a red carpet, and she's just laying down in front of it, just like, here you go. I'm like, nah, sorry, I can't. Because you know me, folks. I'm a gentleman. I'm classy. That's why I'm talking about it now. That's what a gentleman does. So in Fort Dodge, Iowa, she's like, it just sort of became, one thing led to another, and she was like, yeah, this is happening. And I'm like, all right, cool. Are you sure? I don't know if you want to do this, because I was the guy who didn't want to, if you know anything about my old stories, I don't want commitment of any kind at all. Like I was just hopping around and I wanted to make sure, I told you I used to date married girls because then I didn't have to do anything for them. Like, I mean, I didn't, I would date them and take them out and do that sort of, but I didn't have to be loyal to them in any way at all, because I always pull the bullshit of like, well, you got a husband, so whatever. So I'm a bad person. So at the time I'm dating Karen, I'm kind of falling for it, and that's happening. And then she's like, yeah, I really want to do this. And I'm like, nah, okay. And then we did it. But where it was in Fort Dodge, we stayed in some fucking old timey hotel, like a cabin. Like it was this weird, it was beautiful, but at the same time it had beams, like wooden beams, and a weird ceiling. And so I always think of that was her view when that happened for her. Like that is always her memory, is she had to look up at Abe Lincoln's ceiling when she fucking got worked for the first time. And I wonder if that triggers anything in her, if she sees that sort of, because it was a very distinct form of architecture. So every time she sees that, does she have some weird tingle in the loins or some sort of weird flashback? By the way, if this show's not named Tingle in the Loins, we have a problem. So I wonder if she sees beams, like cross beams, and a weird sort of 1800s architecture, and if that makes her remember the night that she made the greatest mistake of her life. I can't decide. Because you know what's funny in the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it's the greatest. Amy Heckerling. It's the most brilliant shot, and I wonder if it's in the script. If it is, Cameron Crowe's a genius. Whoever it is, they're all geniuses. But Jennifer Jason Leigh, Ron Johnson, stereo salesman extraordinaire, he takes her to the Point, which turns out to be a baseball stadium, and she's going to lose her virginity. She tells him she's 19, and so Ron Johnson, of course, fucks her in a baseball dugout. He's 26. He's a very classy man, and he takes her in and he climbs on top of her, and then somebody's baby is playing in the movie, and they show her view, which is a naked light bulb and the ceiling of a dugout. And then they show her face, and she's kind of into it. But then they show the surf Nazis, the graffiti on the, and I love the shot. It's so much is said in those 2 seconds to me. And that's why I've always thought that with Karen, where it's like, does she think of the, because I can't imagine that she was looking in my eyes. She had to be looking past me to that horrible fucking ceiling and thinking, wow, check this out. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk tomorrow. Like that kind of thing. I don't know if that's how it works. Ladies, you tell me. Write me notes because I really want to hear this. I'm throwing out a poll to all the lady listeners. Tell me what it was like your first time, because that won't be awkward at all. All right. So how the fuck did I get into that? What was I talking about? I was somewhere, right?
Driving the edge of Iowa.
Oh Christ! I was on the road with TC Hatter and Marnie. Marnie, right?
I don't remember now.
I think it's Marnie. Well, you left them? You didn't make them your screensaver?
It was YouTube videos and the church that they perform at and belong to.
Yeah. Yeah, they're fairly Jesus-fied or whatever. So, because you remember Jesus, he hung out with clowns, all those clowns that he enjoyed.
Yes.
He had 12 apostles. Yeah. So, he may as well have, really. I mean, it's like Jesus and Woody Woodpecker and Superman. They're all hanging out together. All right. So, folks, as I sit here and talk to you now, it's Tuesday. You're listening on Thursday, and so usually you're like, "Wow, Mike did this show yesterday." Well, guess what? I'm so early for this show. It's Tuesday. It is the day before I'm supposed to do it because, as we all know, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which is yesterday for you guys. Jesus Christ, this show's a time warp. I got to start doing it live. I'm freaked out myself. I'm supposed to go to Palm Springs tomorrow and try out for Wheel of Fortune, and I can't decide if that's going to happen. Like I don't. Let's put it this way. I really want it to happen, but then part of me, it's the whole, me. If I could snap my fingers and be standing there and trying out, that would be great. But it's the fucking getting up and the driving 100 miles and then having to stand in line with the great unwashed and then having to figure out what before and after means. Because again, I will tell you this too. I'm a little freaked out about this because I'm the opposite of America, folks. I watched Wheel of Fortune every day when I was a kid. Every day. Like when I was a real young kid, I watched it at 10 o'clock in the morning. When I watched it when Chuck Woolery was hosting it, and then I watched it when Rolf Benershka, who used to be a kicker for the San Diego Chargers, was hosting it. I watched that. So I've been watching it my whole life. And then I watched it with Pat Sajak. And then I started to watch it in the evening. It was on at 6:30 in Chicago. So I watched it all the time. I was really good at it. I could solve puzzles in like 3 tiles. I was fucking amazing. And that was when I was young. As a kid, I would watch it. But now I'm old and I don't watch it. Like I'm completely the opposite. I haven't watched it in like 6 years. So I don't know what kind of changes they've made. I don't know what kind of a buzzsaw I'm walking into tomorrow at this casino. I mean, it's because the game is essentially Hangman. And you never forget how to play that. But, I don't know what kind of challenges they've thrown at people. They had to change it somewhat, right? I know there was a bankrupt space, then there was like $1 billion space, and nobody ever won that, of course, because it was like a sliver. I remember seeing that. It's this ridiculous, like within one, whatever the fuck, who cares? But I can't decide what I'm walking into tomorrow. Because, look, I invented RSTLNE. All right? I invented RSTLNE. When I was a kid, I would pick it to the point where my mom would go, why do you always pick RSTLNE? I go, because, look, that's the way to go. And then people started to do it all the time. And then, of course, the show implemented that as your baseline. RSTLNE was given to, or LNE, LNA, I don't want to say LNA. See, I got to slow down my fucking cadence because tomorrow I'm going to say RSTLNA and they're going to go A. And I'm going to go, no, I meant E. And they're going to go, I'm sorry, you won't be on the show. Although I don't know if they put people on the show just tomorrow, right? See, that's another thing. If I could go tomorrow and try out and they go, you're on the show the next day, perfect. I don't want to go into a bin. Who the fuck wants to be in the Wheel of Fortune bin with a bunch of names? Fuck that. They need to see me and I need to shine. I need to be the guy that they just go, you know what? That's Captain RST. That's Captain RSTLNE. We got to get Captain RSTLNE on the show. That's who I am, Captain RSTLNE. But now there's like a new, don't they give you new letters too? I've known for a week that I was going to try out, and I should have taped it. I probably should have taped it again to see it, but I can't bring myself to tape Wheel of Fortune because it just seems like such an old person thing to do. My thumb won't even allow me to do it because of osteoporosis will set in immediately. If I tell my DVR to tape Wheel of Fortune, I will then stand up to walk out and completely snap my hip. I mean, taping Wheel of Fortune seems like the worst fucking thing you could possibly do. But I need to do it like for scouting purposes, right? Don't I need to know what I'm walking into tomorrow because everything's gone, everything's a challenge. Everything's a physical challenge. What, are there physical challenges on Wheel of Fortune now? Because just Hangman. We've all played Hangman as kids. Maybe they have people standing on actual gallows with their head in a noose now. Actually, if they don't, why don't they do that now? Holy shit, that'd be perfect. Maybe I pitch that tomorrow. Fuck being a contestant. I'm remaking the show. Where's Merv Griffin? He's dead. But who cares? He's got to have some guy that he left in charge, right? No, he didn't. What if he didn't? It's just Lord of the Flies over there at fucking Wheel of Fortune. Merv Griffin died and nobody knows what's going on. Sajak just shows up and does the same fucking thing over and over. No way Sajak's in Palm Springs tomorrow, right? There's no way. Vanna? No way Vanna shows up. Is Vanna even the chick anymore? She's like 71 years old. They got to get some new blood. You know I understand is free? Rolf Benershka, former kicker for the San Diego Chargers. Why didn't they get him involved to come over and start hosting again? I remember when they did that, it was like, even as a kid, it was this controversial thing. They're like, why did they hire Rolf Benershka? Because he wasn't a popular guy. It wasn't like he was the funniest football player. He was a kicker. Everybody fucking hated him. I mean, there was just no reason for him to be hired. You know what? Fuck it. The only reason they hired him, here's why. They were tired of giving away prizes. Wheel of Fortune was tired of giving away prizes, so they hired Rolf Benershka because you knew when you went on the show, you couldn't even spell his name. How could you possibly solve the puzzles? They intimidated you with his fucking ridiculous name. That's what it was. They wanted to scare you right from the jump. They wanted to hire a guy. When you looked at his name, you were just like, I can't even, oh my God, I couldn't even possibly, I hope he's not a puzzle. He should have been, honestly, he should have been all of the puzzles. All of the puzzles should have been like Rolf Benershka's Beowulf or, Rolf Benershka's Trip into the Woods. He should have been involved in all of the puzzles because honestly, nobody would have picked up that pattern. Nobody. Because again, even with RSTLNE, what do you got? You got RL and Rolf. And then Benershka, all you got is the E's. Oh, and the R. And the S. Oh, fuck it. Maybe that's why they fired him, because their plan went awry. I got to shut the fuck up about Wheel of Fortune, because I'm going to talk about it next week. God damn it. 2 weeks in a row of Wheel of Fortune talk? You guys are going to tune me out. As if you haven't already. Maybe I'll take somebody's virginity in Palm Springs tomorrow and really bring this whole thing around.
I am not going.
What? God damn it. That reminds me of, you ever see The Young Ones? You're not? Stop with that nonsense.
Love The Young Ones.
In The Young Ones, there was one where they were going to die, and they all decided they needed to lose their virginity. And back's not Rick, back's not Viv. They all just say, who wasn't in behind them, and that reminds me of what you just said, where you said you're not going. So there, folks, take that. That was another thing that aired when I would be watching Rolf Benershka on Wheel of Fortune. I would then flip over and watch The Young Ones, who were on at 10 in the morning in my world for some reason. I don't know why. As I sit here, it is Tuesday. Did I mention that already? It's Tuesday. I'm on my way to Wheel of Fortune tomorrow. And Lily and I are like having trouble focusing on this show because there's a hostage standoff in Los Angeles right now. And if you know me, you know I'm like Captain News. Besides being Captain RSTLNE, I'm also Captain News. That's actually his first name, Captain News RSTLNE. And so I can't, like, she keeps flipping over to give me updates on what's happening, even though I don't care. Like, I really don't care what happens to this guy. There's a cop named Christopher Dorner. You guys are aware of the story. 2 weeks ago, he wrote a manifesto on Facebook, and somehow that qualified him as important to people. I mean, granted, he killed some people as well, but then when the manifesto came out, it made him much more than a murderer in some people's eyes. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's like it's Facebook. It's Facebook. There was his manifesto, and then right next to it, there was a picture of a cat hanging on a ledge somewhere. And Is that a catafesto? Maybe that's a catafesto from somebody. Might want to put a sharp eye on that person who posted that.
God.
Just because a guy posts a bunch of rambling paragraphs does not give him any real importance. I mean, he's a fucking murderer. That's who he is. And it becomes this thing where online he becomes more in the eyes of people because he went ahead and posted this long ass thing. And look, all right, I'm not passing any judgment. He got fired because someone called him a nigger, or they didn't, and then he kicked a guy in the face, or somebody else did. And by the way, I know the facts. I'm fucking them up on purpose. Because now I'm going to get some long letter from some idiot who's going to be like, no, you don't understand. He saw somebody kick somebody, and then there was a hearing, and on this particular date, and it's going to have dates and times and transcripts, and I don't care. I don't. You know why I don't care? Because I read the manifesto, okay? And like you guys, I read the manifesto and was like, wow, I was actually kind of impressed and thrown a little bit by everything that the guy wrote, because he proclaimed that he was not going to be taken alive and that he was going to come at them with all of these weird asymmetrical warfare tactics, and I know your tactics, you can't catch me with your tactics, and all this different stuff. And when you hear that stuff, look, I'm a fan of chaos, all right? I am a fan of legitimate chaos. So when I see a dude write a long ass manifesto where one paragraph he's talking about killing all of the cops in Los Angeles, and then in the next paragraph he's telling Larry David that he loves the temperature in the house and that and he was right, that dude's fucking batshit. So I like to think that maybe, just maybe, he'll be the one to break through the crazy wall and do something really fucking crazy. Because he writes in that list all the things he's a sniper, and he's this amazing shot, and he's got all these guns. He's had 4 years, I think, since he was kicked off the force. Is that, I don't know. But I wanted so desperately to think that in those 4 years, he had built a lair. Is that too much to ask? I want this guy to have a lair and a costume. You know, it's just, if you're going to talk a bunch of shit like that, I want you to really be ready to bring the crazy. I'm tired of these crazy motherfuckers who are only crazy in print. Stop being crazy in print. Anybody can sit down and be crazy in print. I'm crazy verbally every goddamn week, once a week. And I get it out, and then that's it. The rest of the week I sit numb and don't fucking talk or say anything to anyone. But enough of people ejaculating their crazy with words. I want you to be crazy in deeds. If you're going to talk a bunch of shit, you need to back it up. The Joker wasn't the Joker because he talked a good game. The Joker was the Joker because he did a bunch of crazy shit and then talked a good game. If this guy would have gone out, fuck the manifesto, all right? Here's the thing. If this guy would have gone out, and because you know what? When anybody goes ahead and writes this long-ass manifesto and they talk about what they're going to do, and they I know your secrets and you can't catch me, and I know how to beat you at your own fucking game, then you need to go out and buy a cape. Get a fucking cape. Fuck typing. Quit sitting down and typing all that bullshit until you've got the cape secured.
Oh my god.
You need to have an underground subway station that no one's using that you live in. You need to be Darkman. You need to be V from fucking V for Vendetta. That's what we want. You need to be a combination of V from Vendetta and Liam Neeson from Taken. Spend those 4 years when you get kicked off the force before it. Sit there. I'm sure he's been writing that manifesto for 4 years. He's been editing it. Fuck editing your manifesto. Be a man of action. You can't step out, kill 2 random cops, kill the daughter of somebody that you used to know, and then like, haha, I'm a crazy dude. No, you're just a nuisance. You're just a nuisance asshole who killed people. Now you're just a murderer. You want to be a legend. Spend that 4 years building a lair, buying a cape, getting a mask, inventing your own language, and putting things all over the city where you can go hide and they don't know who you are. You had 4 years. What the fuck have you been doing with yourself other than thinking that Charlie Sheen was awesome? He deserves to be shot just for typing that sentence. And then you get people rooting for him. You get people that are like, oh, yeah, this guy, he's just, he's exposing the LAPD. No, he's not. He's a coward. He's a fucking coward. That's who he is. And not only that, he's a coward who didn't make the effort to make himself into what he should have been. I can understand getting behind, because look, I root for chaos. I want terrible things to happen, but not really. But sort of. But yes, but I don't. I can't quite explain it. Like, I want the world to end, but I also still want to be alive and have cable. Like, I mean, it's this weird... I root for chaotic bullshit to happen, but I also don't want anything really bad to happen. I don't know, I guess. I can't. You know what? I just got to give myself over to the dark side on it and say, yeah, I want chaos. I want this guy to be a super villain. I wanted him to be fucking Mr. Glass and fucking take out everyone. What if this dude was like a nonstop killing machine, unstoppable, and he fucking like murdered the entire LAPD? I mean, then now we got a story. Now we're cooking. Now we got a reason to fear this LL Cool J looking motherfucker. All right? He does. But no, this guy just turns out to be just like everybody else. And right now, as we're talking, he's in a cabin in the woods somewhere. And Lily keeps updating me. And she's like, I think the cabin's on fire. Well, fine. I'm glad that the cabin is on fire. And I'm glad they're going to finally catch this guy. But let's put it this way. I hope they drag his body out before it's burned beyond recognition. Because nobody will believe that it's him. Online, everybody gets... all right, and let's go a different route. Okay? I don't have an update. Last I heard, the cabin was on fire. Now, here's the story. Let me give you two different stories. And let me see how you react to this. All right, folks? The cabin's on fire, and the cops surround it, and then it burns to the ground, and then they find his body, and it's charred and burned, but they do the dental records test, and it is Christopher Dorner, and he's dead. Or the cabin's on fire, and just as it looks like it's about to implode in a ball of fire and smoke, a hovercraft bursts out of the roof. And all you see is just a mask and a cape, and it sails off into the fucking distance as the cops shoot at it and it disappears into the night. Who doesn't root for that? We are too complacent as a society. We need a supervillain to wake us up. Quit claiming to be supervillains if you're not going to be a supervillain. If you're not going to... You had 4 fucking years. You had 4 years to find a fucking underground lair, you dick. And now, right now, you're in a fucking hot-ass cabin getting shot at. Fuck you. You deserve this. You deserve this because you failed. You could have been the Joker. Now you're just a joke. You could have galvanized us as a society to have an enemy to hate. That's what we need as Americans. We need to come together. Stop being disparate. Stop being separate. We needed someone to focus on. If we had a supervillain who was killing all of the cops and like holding buildings hostage, wouldn't we fucking laser-like focus on that dude? Our apathy would be over, and eventually a hero would rise from us. Somehow a superhero would be created. He would have no choice. He would have to step forward. He would train, and he would buy a cape. Look at all the cape sales. I've improved cape sales in this country tenfold. Villains, heroes, people are buying capes, everything's galvanized, we're all coming together as a people, and then we've got heroes, we've got real villains, we've got actual things to root for. There's actual lines in the sand. There's nothing being blurred. There's good and then there's evil, and we have something to be involved in. We have something to participate in. And if we've got a villain who's killing cops and holding buildings hostage, and then we have a hero who can't help but be created, he's thrust forward to defend all that is right and all that is good, maybe that would mean somehow that I could get a fucking job as like a Batcave janitor or something. Please. That's all I need. We need a hero and a villain and an entire society paralyzed in fear so I can get a job like fucking, I'll be a hype man. I'll be a hero hype man. Just walk around and just go, yeah, and just point at him when he's fighting. It'll be awesome. This was my destiny. This is what I was born to do. Way to go, Christopher Dorner. Way to let me down in my hour of need.
This is the 40-Year-Old Boy and the Mike Schmidt.
Citizens of Gotham City, this is the Joker, coming to you through your key station via my high-powered jamming system. You're listening to the 40-Year-Old Dum Dum on the stupid podcast, Stupid Network.
I'm going to go to Sacramento on a prison bus for a seatbelt ticket? Because I wanted to be a vampire? God damn it!
The explosions of id. Hear them at MikeSchmidtComedy.com.
I want chaos, folks. Is that so wrong? I want Project Mayhem. I want people to blow up the credit unions and the credit companies so then nobody will see that I owe all these money to the credit card people. That's what I want. Maybe it's a selfish reason, but also at the same time, I love chaos. But I don't really, like I said, as I've always said, if I was thrust in the middle of real chaos, I probably would not enjoy chaos nearly as much as I think I do. But I'll tell you what, from a distance, I love watching chaos unfold on television. Oh my God, that's fucking great. When I watched the North Hollywood bank robbers when they were walking through the streets and just shooting indiscriminately into the fucking air from the B of A thing, I was in Indiana and going, oh, I wish I was there. I don't know why I wished I was there. It was dumb. It was right by my house. And I'm like, I know where that is. I know where that Stater Brothers is. If I was in there right now eating pork chops, I would be shot. And also, why would I be eating pork chops in a grocery store? They're raw. I'm an animal. I'm a terrible person. Shoot me. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Mike, if you like chaos so much, why don't you become a supervillain? Why don't you go ahead and because you're not doing anything these days, and that's totally true. But that requires work. I'm old. Supervillainery is a young man's game. It is not an old man's game. And I'm 45. My days of supervillainry are gone. They're out the door. The only supervillainry I have to hope for is possibly stealing the puzzles from Wheel of Fortune tomorrow. So I can get on the show and win some sort of cash. You know what? Actually, I'll tell you what. I make this vow to you. If I do audition for Wheel of Fortune and I'm somehow deigned worthy of appearing on the show and I win the ultimate puzzle and I win everything, that will be my nest egg of chaos. And I will become a supervillain. I will tell you that right now. If somehow I get on Wheel of Fortune and I win, I will take that money and I will flash forward and become a supervillain for you guys. Because I know that's what you want. We all want a supervillain, right? That's all we want in our lives. We want someone who's going to wreak havoc. I can wreak havoc. I can wreak apathy. I'll tell you that. I've got plenty of apathy to wreak, but I know about wreaking havoc. Fuck it. If I have a nest egg, I'll absolutely be able to wreak havoc. I like chaos. Christopher Dorner right now is in a burning cabin. He's missed his opportunity for chaos, but there are other people out there who can take up the mantle and run with it. Tonight is the State of the Union address, folks. President of the United States, Barack Obama, telling us what's going on in our country. And in the audience tonight, at the State of the Union address, as the invited guest of a senator, is Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent, rock star. Ted Nugent, former rock star, now fucking banana head. Ted Nugent. And he talks a lot of Yang, and there's no reason for him to be famous. I don't know. Well, actually, there is. He's got, I like Ted Nugent's music. I won't lie. It's fucking rudimentary and dumb. It's as bad as Kiss. Ted Nugent is Kiss without makeup and 3 other dudes. That's all he is. Ted Nugent is Kiss without makeup and 3 other idiots dragging him down. I've seen Ted Nugent in concert, and I told you, he's yelled about Jesse Jackson. He shot an arrow like into a Hillary Clinton effigy. I mean, he's a fucking crazy person. So who better to invest our chaos hopes into than a crazy person like Ted Nugent at the State of the Union address? He shouldn't even be in the fucking building. He shouldn't be allowed to watch the State of the Union address. And everybody's like, well, he threatened to kill President Obama. He didn't really. All right, that's quite a leap. I mean, Ted Nugent's threatened to do a lot of things, for Christ's sake. He threatened to wang dang your sweet poontang. Has he done that yet? No, he has not. Granted, there's always a danger that he can. But Ted Nugent's at the State of the Union address. Now, I put this to you, folks. I voted for Barack Obama twice. All right? Has he made mistakes? Yes, he has. Do I support him? Yes, I do. But how great is the story if Ted Nugent assassinates Barack Obama at the State of the Union address? I'm not advocating for it. I don't want it to happen. Don't call the Secret Service. But just on a level of chaos, if you look at it as a news story, how amazing a story is it if Ted Nugent is invited by a senator to attend the State of the Union, he's allowed in, and somehow he sneaks in like a blowgun and shoots a dart into Barack Obama's neck and kills him via poison. I mean, it's fucking amazing. It's an amazing story. And then it's even better if Nugent gets away. And, all right, take a look at this. State of the Union, Barack Obama talking, blow dart in the neck, and then hovercraft bursts out of the ceiling and sails off into the night. Nugent in a hovercraft. Who doesn't want that? This world would be so much better if I could plan it. If I could plan all the stuff out. Because Dorner would have escaped in his hovercraft. Nugent would escape. You know what? First of all, I've got to invent a hovercraft. That's what I need to do. Hold on a second. I fuck being a supervillain. I need to invent a hovercraft because that will foster everybody else to make the efforts they need to make to create supervillainry and change this entire world. God damn it. Again, I like Barack Obama, but that is a great story. It's an even better story because then Joe Biden has to take over as president. And then at next year's State of the Union, like Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran kills him. I mean, like, that's what I want. I want all of our elected officials to be in danger at the hands of rock stars, washed up rock stars. That's the way it has to work. I want the chancellor in Germany to be executed by Nana from 99 Luft Balloons. That has to happen. In an effort to gain their new relevance, I want the Prime Minister of Canada to give a speech and Loverboy takes him out. Mike Reno swoops in and stabs him with a jagged maple syrup bottle right in the neck. I don't know who runs Brazil. Do they have a king? What do they have? A fucking prime minister? I don't know what they have. I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, Sepultura should show up and beat him to death in front of everybody. That's what we need. That's what this world needs. Not even this country. This world needs the rock stars to charge up and take control. We need rock stars to start executing politicians. And if we could somehow get the athletes involved, that'd be perfect as well. That's all I want. You know what? I just want a famous people Hunger Games. That's all I want. I want famous people to just battle royale and start fucking murdering one another, and all of us like breads and circuses people could just sit around and watch it on our televisions. You want to keep me transfixed? You know, television's the drug of a nation. I will be mainlining that if you just show me fucking politicians getting murdered by rock stars. God damn it. And then somehow athletes wade in, and the athletes have to wear their uniforms, like the baseball Furies and the Warriors. Dude, if the Los Angeles Dodgers showed up and just started beating Congress to death with baseball bats, you're not on board with that? How fucking awesome is that? I want famous people to start killing famous people. I want athletes to fight rock stars, to fight politicians, and in the end, the last people standing can kill the Kardashians. That's what we need to do. Because they deserve it. Because they're famous, but they shouldn't be famous, so they don't get to be involved in the brawl. We'll trick them. We'll trick them into thinking, oh, you know, stay on the sideline, and once all the real famous people kill each other, you can jump in and be the kings. But then, bullshit. Once the people survive and they win, then they can put the Kardashians to death. That's their first act in office. I will not rest. I want this to happen. Come on, how great is that chaos? I want athletes to fight rock stars, to fight politicians, and the winners get to run this country. That's it. That's how it should be. I will not rest until fucking there's like a, you know, and not even like a king. There's no president. We'd have to divvy it up among the survivors. It'll be just like David Coverdale and Randy Moss and Texas Governor Rick Perry and Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. That's who's running this country from now on. That's the four-headed monster that runs these new United States after the huge battle royal between the rock stars, the politicians, and the athletes. It's fucking David Coverdale from Whitesnake, former Texas Governor Rick Perry, because there will not be a Texas anymore after this huge battle. Let's face it. This will just be like the United States of Famous. That's all it will be. Not even United States. It'll just be Famous Town. That's what we'll rename the United States Fameville. And fucking Randy Moss and Missy Misdemeanor Elliott will get the East, and David Coverdale and Rick Perry will get the West. And then we'll all kill the Kardashians. And then I don't know what'll happen, but I know I'll be excited. I'll sit back and watch it after that huge brawl took place. God, I need a job, folks. I need to stop thinking about this kind of stuff. This is what happens when you sit around and you do nothing. This is what pops in your fucking head. RSTLNE. RSTLNE. I have to remember that for tomorrow. Although they give you those. But again, I haven't watched. I don't even know what the new 3 letters are. What are the new 3 letters? DMW? Well, you got to have a vowel in there. Jesus Christ. I don't even know the rules. I don't even know what vowels are anymore. And I'm hoping to take fucking part in this. God damn it. And you know what's funny? I'm taping it tonight to try to keep up on it, but already this fucking idiot's getting burned alive in a cabin, and then there's the president. I'm sure they're not going to run Wheel of Fortune tonight. This was my last night to scout, and it's usurped by real life. God damn it. I'm going to go in unmanned tomorrow. I only know half the alphabet. I'm old. Actually, you know what's funny? I found... All right, look, we all know I don't have a job, and then I'm looking. I've talked about that many times. I'm trying not to talk about it a lot because I'm sure you guys are bored out of your fucking skull hearing about it. And I know you're all rooting for me, and that's good. Although maybe some of you aren't. Maybe some of you have your own version of chaos in which I never get a job and I slowly go crazy during my podcast. That's a good plan. I like that plan. I like your version of chaos because it's fucking happening. Let's put it that way. Your version of chaos has a lot better chance of happening than my version of chaos does. I'm sorry, I can't see the New England Patriots fighting some state assembly. That's not going to happen. There's a much better chance that I'm going to go insane first. So I'm looking for a gig, man. Like I said, I've applied to all these jobs, and I went in, I trained I told you that a listener reached out to me and he wanted to teach me Avid, which is a software editing program. So I took him up on it. I was out of town and I said, look, I'll be back in town. And then he was nice enough to follow up and said, look, I'm available this weekend if you are. And then I said, sure, how about Sunday? And he said, all right, what time? Because he has a kind of a funky schedule too. I told you he was working at American Idol, and he's an editor and he works at night. He works like, I guess, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it's sort of like my schedule. So I had to pick a day to see him. I said, I'd prefer Sunday. He said, what time? And stupid me, I picked noon because that was late enough for me, but I thought it would be early enough for a real person. But I forgot he's on the same schedule as me. I could have picked fucking 4 in the afternoon. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But Josh is his name, and it was nice of him to reach out and offer to train me. So I said to him, he's like, I just need a place that has 2 outlets. So I picked a Starbucks close by my house, and he doesn't even live close by my house. He's willing to come to me and teach me all this stuff. It makes no sense.
Wow.
So I picked a Starbucks close to my place, and I showed up there. He wasn't there, and then I saw him come walking in. I should tell you this about Josh. He looks, and this is a waste, by the way. I should tell you this. He looks exactly, not exactly. I would say 85%. He looks like Mick Foley, who's a professional wrestler, like Cactus Jack. And to the point where I'm willing to bet you, even like body type and everything, he looks like him. To the point where I'm willing to bet at least once a day someone comes up to him and says, thinks he's Mick Foley or Cactus Jack. Because it was really kind of stunning to me when he walked in. And we looked around Starbucks and it was packed. So I had popped my head into Subway around the corner and saw that they had outlets in the wall. So I said, we can go into the strip mall, into the Subway, and go there. And Josh was very nice. He said, sure. So we go, and he sets up his hard drive, and he sets up his laptop to teach me Avid. And, I mean, it's exactly what I thought, all right? Avid is a software editing program that does all of the work for you. It does everything. It's like Audacity, which we use to record this show. All you need to do is stay on top of the clips and put them in the right order. Because he starts showing me stuff, and he's like, well, you put these into this queue, and then you start to pull it apart, and then he let me fuck around with it for a while. I had it in 15 minutes. Like, I knew what to do. The only thing is it's repetition. You need to be able to do it fast. You need to do it quickly. And it's that thing where you need to know the first 5 steps, because after that, the machine does everything on its own. So he's showing me how to work it, and I knew it immediately. I mean, it was so nice of him to take the time, and he wrote me a manual, like a 5-page breakdown to study. And I should tell you this, he actually wrote me that a week before I met with him, and he's like, did you look at that? Nah, no, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. You're teaching me this stuff, right, Josh? So now so the software program itself is $2,500, but he had it on his computer, and he told me, he goes, yeah, there's a 30-day free trial. You can download it to your computer and do it all day, work on it. And then after 30 days, they'll ask you if you want to buy it, and you just say no. But you'll learn it. Like, so that's what I have to do. I'm going to download it to my laptop and just practice editing stuff. Will it get me a job? No, I have no idea, because I continue to apply for jobs and not getting them, to the point where I need, you don't want to hear this, right? Do you? I don't even know if you do. It's like a saga, I guess, that you're following along. And I so desperately want to bring you good news. That's what I want to tell you. I want to go, guess what happened? Yay. Because nobody wants to keep hearing these fucking terrible stories, right? Well, I've applied overall now, at last count, it was 43 jobs that I've sent applications for or called about and not heard back on a 1. And when I say not heard back, I mean not even a thank you or a fuck you, not even a cursory note. So to the point where I've had a phone number for a long time here, and I haven't used it because I don't want to use it, because I can't even imagine doing this. It's going to be this is rock bottom, right? I mean, well, not really. Rock bottom would be bankruptcy and homeless and singing around a garbage can with Chilliwack, which I can't find myself doing at any time in the future. But I mean, I've even started, like I said, I applied, and look, I haven't exhausted everything, all right? I'm not Richard Marx just yet, where it's, when you're trying to make a living, there's no such thing as pride. So I haven't gone to McDonald's and stuff, and I told you I was going to wind up at Chipotle, and I have not gone to Chipotle. Because honestly, I don't think I could work in a restaurant because it's all dudes who don't speak English and young people. I'm going to be this old guy who wandered. Oh God, imagine it. Imagine seeing me at Chipotle. It's going to be terrible. I should just go be a greeter at Walmart, right? Shouldn't I do that? I can qualify for that. I can bring some hipness to that position, some freshness. What do they pay those dudes? Honestly, they don't have Walmart greeters anymore. I bring it back. I'm the new guy. I'm the vanguard for the rebirth of the Walmart greeter, as the kind of the funny guy who gets you ready to go in there and buy cheap slacks. I'm gonna have to. That's what I have to do. I have to invent my own positions, folks. I have a phone number in my possession that I've had for like a month. And it's funny, I told some listeners in Chicago afterwards when we went to eat pizza, they were like, well, where are you at with this? And I said, hey, all right, here's where I'm at. And this is what I don't want to do. Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to tell you guys this. This is fucking terrible. I have a phone number to work as a phone sex operator. And I can't bring myself to dial it. I cannot bring myself to dial it. I continue to apply for other things online. I see things and I send in applications. And look, I'm trying for show business jobs as well, but I'm also looking for like office gigs and stuff like that. And but then there was this phone number. It was on Craigslist like a month ago, and I grabbed it and I didn't call. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I was going to schedule an interview. I told the people in Chicago I was going to call and schedule an interview when I got back to town, but I cannot bring myself to do it. Because I don't even know what it pays. Because it might not even pay what I would need to do something like that. And also I can't even imagine, because I talk. That's what I do, is I talk for a living. So in my head I'm like, well, I could probably do this. But here's the thing, folks. Let me let you in on a secret. Women aren't calling phone sex lines. So I got a feeling I wouldn't be having a lot of chats with the ladies. Although I should, because I'm quite sexy.
Oh my God.
But I can't imagine throwing myself into this, because then, it became a joke. We're in Chicago, we're eating pizza, and Mex is like, dude, you got to be named Ramon. And I'm like, yeah, I could be Ramon. That's fine. But I don't think I sound like a Ramon. I'd have to do it. I'd have to like trill my R's and all that kind of stuff. Hello. This is Ramon. What are you wearing? Why am I German? I'm a vampire. Ramon's a vampire. Jesus Christ. See, I'm already firing myself. I'm terrible at this. I can't be swarthy. Sex vampire? A swarthy sex vampire named Ramon? That's not me. I'm full-on corn-fed Midwest voice. I can't fucking pull that off.
Oh my God.
I am a swarthy sex vampire named Ramon. What do your balls look like? I can't do this. I mean, it would have to pay an outrageous amount of cash for me to do this, right? That's rock bottom. It's absolutely rock bottom. It is. For me, it is.
Not rock bottom.
I mean, I've worked in adult bookstores. But I didn't have to tell the guys there that I wanted to hug them, which by the way, is probably bad sex talk, I would imagine. I want to hug you. Come here. Swarthy sex vampire Ramon wishes to hold you and touch your hair. Fucking Ramon. This is awful.
Oh my Christ.
I can't do it. I throw it open to you guys. Because the people in Chicago were like, dude, all right, let's put it this way. To me, it was the worst news of all time. All right, this was like a millstone around my neck, like the worst anchor I could ever think of. And I was, in my head, there was shame involved. And I'm like, I can't, that's fucking tragic. I can't do it. So all of a sudden it comes up and I tell people that. And I expect it to be this like horrible black cloud over the rest of this fucking pizza meal. And instead, everybody just goes, that's great. I'm like, what? Why is that great? They go, dude, the stories you're going to be able to tell are going to be hysterical. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not going to be hysterical. They're going to be awful stories. Wouldn't you rather hear my stories? Nobody wants to hear the stories of swarthy sex vampire Ramon. Come here. I enjoy your shirt. Sit in my velvet coffin and tell me of your desires. Ramon. I can't do it. You know why? Because I'm too funny to do that job. I am. Some guy's going to be like, dude, I want you to stick a beer bottle in my ass. And I'm going to be like, oh, Ramon does not stick beer bottles into asses. If I take that job, you know what? I will come on here and I will give the number, and then you guys just got to call me. That's it. Instead, in lieu of donations to the show, call me and talk to me at night. How great would that be?
I'm getting you an 800 number that you
Really?
can do it. It's not hard. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I don't make any money on an 800 number. That's ridiculous.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And then what? Talk to real people?
Oh my god, yes.
See, but that's better. Then I don't have to tell people that I want to fucking jerk them off. That's fine. I mean, if I want to have just a straight chat with someone.
1-800-FUNNY-TALK.
1-800-SEX-VAMPIRE. Why not?
Sex vampire would be awesome.
1-800-SEX-VAMPIRE.
Line.
Oh, hello. You should not have called during the sunrise.
There are no sex vampire lines.
We need a sex vampire line. That's what we need to do.
We're starting our own.
Are we really? Me and you? You'll do it too?
Yes, I'm in.
You will do sex talk.
I have done sex talk.
Whoa, hold on a second. What are you saying? In bed doesn't count. I've done sex talk in bed, but I mean, on a phone, it's a completely different thing. I mean, I've done it with people I know on the phone, but I've never had strangers and call, so that doesn't count.
No, I have been paid to talk people off.
What? You are fucking joking.
And it was not rock bottom.
You were a sex phone person.
Briefly, very briefly, yes.
When? Did I know you?
My first knee surgery.
So I knew you. We were doing this show.
Yes.
And you never fucking said anything?
I didn't want you to call me.
See? Oh, I see. Fuck, I would have called you too.
You know, I wasn't ashamed of it, but it was one of those things where it was like, well, let's try this and see how it goes, and if it works, okay, and if it doesn't, okay.
And did it work? Did you make any money?
I made money, and it worked for the people I talked to, absolutely.
But you didn't dig it. You weren't.
No, I didn't. I'm a very vocal, sexual person, and so I would find that, you know, you talk a couple guys off, and then your boyfriend comes home and wants to have sex, and you're like, oh, baby, this feels so good. Ah, damn, I just said that to a stranger. So it didn't really work for me.
So, oh, okay.
So I eventually went, yeah, I don't think this is the right job for me. It was fun, it was good, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, it's not, I don't like the way I feel outside of it.
See, that's how I would be, though.
Yeah, except you wouldn't be.
Well, but you're talking to dudes. See, that's a completely different story.
But
Like, you
would
can.
be talking to dudes
Yes,
too.
but who? All right, well, that's not.
Okay, but it's not like after you talked 3 guys off, you would have to go home and go down on Karen and be like, oh, your balls are so awesome. So it would never be awkward.
How do you know? You don't know what I'm into.
Your cock is so big, Karen.
You don't know. You don't know what I like to talk about. How dare you presume to know what sex vampire Ramon talks about in bed?
Sex vampire, I'm telling you, I want to start a sex vampire phone line. God damn it, that's brilliant.
Hello. Expose your neck to me. I wish to bite it, but first, I will shoot on it. You get Ramon's special prize. You get the goo neck. The sun is coming up. I must repair to my coffin. Call me tomorrow. Ramon. God damn it. See, that's the thing. I would get fired immediately because I would do that kind of stupid shit.
Be awesome.
And Bob in Fort Dodge, who called me from his fancy hotel, would be like, I don't want to call Ramon the sex vampire. I just want some dude to tell me that he likes my balls.
I am registering Ramon the sex vampire.
I can't do it. I can't. But I'm telling you, universally, as we were sitting at the table, everybody's like, that's great. Oh my God, that's awesome. How great will the stories be that you tell? No, they'll be awful. I can't do it. And then, but I will tell you this. And so part of me wanted to do this, unleash you guys on somebody, but I can't do it, right?
Oh my god, it exists.
What does?
Phone sex with vampires.
No.
Fantasia phone sex line. God damn it. No.
My cock is out of ideas. God damn it. That was my cock's Hail Mary pass.
Oh, fuck me, that's funny. Oh.
I should have known. I should have known Ramon the sex vampire was too good of an idea to just not exist.
Enter or flee.
Enter or flee. These guys are perfect. God damn it, I'm furious.
Oh my god, I'm furious too. I thought we were gonna make a lot of money. Fuck.
What about a sex mummy? Is there one of those? Like a sex Godzilla? I mean, and a sex, I don't know. Jesus Christ. I was combining sex and monsters. I thought I was in. Look at this, folks. There's no new ideas. My cock is fresh out.
Oh my god, it hurts.
Oh, dude. You may as well have just driven a stake into Ramon's heart. Aye!
Oh my
I can't do that, right, folks? I guess you can judge. You can let me know what I should do. Obviously, now I know I'm not going to business for myself because that idea has been snagged. But if I were to go and work for someone else, but I can't do that, right? I can't. That would just be just psychically damaging. I just, not even. I mean, fuck. You know, all I do is talk. I say that all the time. So what's the difference about talking? Because I've done it. I told the story on here where there was the Bachelorette in Minnesota, and I was with Noonan, and she was like, and they were like, oh yeah, say something dirty to her, and then I did, and she was ruined, like fucking. She looked sad. She just looked sad at the things that I said to her, as if she never even considered them before. So I know I could do the job. That's my goal, is I want to make everybody who calls the sex line sad and like horrified that they called.
They're already sad, trust me.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you would know, I guess. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine it. Although this wouldn't be the first time I've had sex talk with someone while they were sobbing, I can tell you that.
Always good.
So this morning I'm on Twitter, and it was like 6 a.m, and I follow Wood Rocket. You know who Wood Rocket is? Wood Rocket is like a new porn company,
Of course.
and they have free porn, okay, and they're trying to be funny. They're trying to be humorous. So they do memes. I think I talked about it on here. You know the memes like IKEA Monkey? Remember IKEA Monkey? He's in his little jacket by the door. Okay, well, they dressed James Dean, the porn star, up in a parka, and he stood by the door, and they just literally filmed it for 20 seconds and put it up. It reminds me of like when I did Load, and we were doing these interstitials that were like 25 to 30 seconds long, or even 10 seconds long. Well, they created a SpongeBob porno, and there's a guy dressed like SpongeBob, and he wound up having sex with the squirrel chick. And it's free. It's all free on their site. Then they had, you'll laugh at this, they have a segment called Topless Girls Reading. And it's porn stars non-ironically reading chapters of books while they're naked. They're just reading it out loud. So they do all that sorts of stuff. Well, they another thing they did was they so the bottom line is they're putting out this free porn, and I saw them and I go, well, that's really interesting what they're doing, because it's not just straight porn. They're actually trying to make it fun, and that sounds weird, even though they're misguided a little bit, but I see what they're trying to do. So sure enough, I'm sitting at my computer today and I follow them on Twitter, and they only have like 300 followers on Twitter. So I was like, that's weird, because most porn stars and porn companies get a big thing. And they put out a call today and it said, comedians and hosts, we want you to host segments on Wood Rocket. Great pay, no nudity, awesome job, contact, and it had an email address. And again, this is this morning at 6 a.m. I immediately, like, I went, because I went, that, dude, comedy and porn, I mean, as long as they didn't make me read their comedy, because let's face it, porn people aren't funny ever. But I was like, I could host segments on there. I could be the fucking comedy face of Wood Rocket. Why the fuck wouldn't I do that? That's perfect. So I wrote them immediately, and I included a resume. Like I said, look, I don't know if you want my writing resume, but I'm including it. Check out my podcast, the thing is, I couldn't decide whether to do a professional letter or to write to be funny and just be like, you need to give me this job, like that kind of thing. So I went professional, which may have been a mistake with a porn company, but I haven't heard from them yet. And I can't imagine. Like I said, they only have 300 followers on Twitter, so who could that have gone to? I mean, if all 300 of them are trying or recommending people, I don't know. But part of me wants to give the email address out on the show and have people write them and go, you got to hire Mike Schmidt.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. That's hysterical.
So if you want to write Lee, Lee, at woodrocket.com and just tell them that I'm the guy. I mean, because it's like, why wouldn't you have me on? Why wouldn't you? They should sponsor this fucking show. I'm serious. Like, when I thought about it immediately, I'm like, and I'm sure, look, 5 of you are going to write, if that. There won't be some groundswell of support. But it might be enough. It might be enough to get me in there, because I belong in there. Comedy and porn, how the fuck? I've been waiting for this hybrid to come along, and I'm the guy. You need to do it, folks. You need to do this. Just so you can keep me from being Ramon the Sex Vampire on a phone. You know what? Fuck it. Do it, because I shouldn't be Ramon the Sex Vampire behind closed doors on the phone. I should be Ramon the Sex Vampire in clips on the goddamn internet. I should bring that character to life. On woodrocket.com. We can make this happen together. You'll write them. I'll write them. We'll get me this job. I need this job just so I have something to say to Pat Sajak when he asks me, what do you do for a living? Hey, Mike, glad to have you. What do you do for a living? Well, I'm Ramon the Sex Vampire at woodrocket.com. Captain RSTLNE, away! And then I jump in my hovercraft and I burst through the fucking ceiling of the studio and disappear into the night. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can be our friend David Hernandez, his friend at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp on 2 different Twitter accounts, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp and Twitter.com/MNTs. You can be her friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And if you'd like to write her a personal note and maybe include your phone number and see if she wants to show you exactly what her expertise was back in the day, you can get her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Drink your coffee, hold some pencils, soak your forks deep, hold more pencils, throw a garayba on these mugs, there's Flameboy Schmitty on these mugs, go buy these wicked awesome mugs, at MikeSchmidtComedy.com,
So they found a body in this cabin where the cop was hiding. It's not him, folks. I'm telling you right now, it's not him. Where is our John Doe? We need a John Doe. Come on, you wouldn't want to see these cops out with fucking like Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and they got Christopher Dorner and he's in a fucking orange jumpsuit. What's in the box? Come on. What's in the box? How do you miss your opportunity? Golden opportunity to be a supervillain and you blow it. You die in a cabin basement like some rat. Like some mountain rat. Are there mountain rats? I don't know. I made that up. Are there? Are there mountain rats who've been shot? I think there have. That's actually what they do in the mountains. They shoot rats. I want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas. Every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. It is an amazing show, probably the longest running and certainly the sexiest burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. And it's funny, I knew there was one place in Los Angeles that Christopher Garner was not going to be able to hide, and that was the Monday Night Teas, because all eyes in Los Angeles are always on the Monday Night Teas. And I happen to know the producer of that show. You may know her from her other careers involving phones and things like that, but I know her as producer of this show and the producer of amazing burlesque shows. Her name is Lily Von Stupp, and she happens to be here right now. Hey, Lily.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm okay, I think. I don't know. I'm a little groggy, but I think I'll get past that.
Yeah, you having a good night?
So far. Oh, I like it. I like that tone. Let's just get to my balls. Let's just get right to it. Cut to the chase.
Prince Charming, how's the ball?
Oh, what am I, Lance Armstrong?
Only one.
I was gonna say, Jesus. Did you have lines, or did you let them like lead you? Where they did you have a shtick? Like, were you a person? You weren't Lily on the phone.
No, I was not me.
Okay.
I was another person, and there were images online that are stock photos that they buy. Oh, am I going to give away secrets that those aren't really the women you're talking
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Put your cocks away.
So yes, I was another person, and I had a backstory online of my whole life.
Do I get to make a backstory up?
To make a backstory.
This is awesome. Hold on. This job's taking on a whole new light for me. So, because then my writing can come into play. I can actually write like this Greek tragedy about myself. You know what my backstory will be? I'm a guy who wanted to be famous, then failed, and now has to do phone sex for a living. That's it. There you go.
That would not get you a lot of calls.
I don't know about that.
No, that would not get you a lot of calls. People do not want to call a failure in hopes to talk them off.
No, the one thing I'm good at.
And they're hoping to find some sort of quick. And again, they're not failures. They were nice guys. I mean, they're just people who have the same life and unhappiness that the rest of us have, and that's one way that they can.
Why do they have to be unhappy? Why can't they just be calling you on a Saturday afternoon? They watch a ball game, they have a beer, and then they, call you up for a quick runoff. Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, see? These guys are happy.
All right, they were all happy.
They're all very well adjusted.
Yes. And none of them were married.
And they're so rich.
But no, you actually would find out what they want before you even got the call.
What they gave you?
Fill out things. The way it works is you fill it out online and.
Whoa, hold on. Wait, let me stop you.
And then I would get an email saying, John's calling.
Put on your mustache, it's Rick.
John's calling, he has a foot fetish. Interests are blah, 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 blah. And so then you.
Oh, I can't talk to those dudes. I can't do that. That's going to be horrible.
You have to fill out a whole questionnaire saying what you're comfortable talking about, what you're not.
You're not getting health insurance. You're going to jerk off on the phone.
Are you willing to change diapers? Are you, you go through the whole list of sex kinks.
I do.
Because you have to fill that all out so that the operator that takes everything in knows who to send the particular kink to.
Oh.
If,
all right.
fetish, I don't want to get into all of the things, but it was probably one of the longest questionnaires I've ever taken, and I thought, I'm going to fail this exam.
That's not good.
Everything is on a 1 to 10. How comfortable are you talking about these things?
I love the fact that the sex phone operator application is pass-fail. That's great.
It's not. I just kept laughing. But
No, I'll fail it. You didn't, but
if I have it, I'll give it to you.
it should just be. Do you have a mouth? Guaranteed.
But it's not because people don't just call up to have missionary style sex. They call it because they want.
They do if they want to talk to me. God damn it!
Romance.
Take a look at that ceiling. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Look past me. Don't look in my eyes. Look at the woodwork, the corrugated woodwork at the top of the ceiling. I don't know if you can corrugate woodwork. I know there's corrugated tin, right? Or whatever the fuck that is. I don't know.
No, there's not corrugated woodwork.
All right. Thank
Anyway,
you.
hi.
Hi. So you've got the Monday Night Teas. How was it yesterday? Because it was yesterday.
Packed.
It was
to
the
fucking rafters.
Mel Brooks show.
We probably had too many people in the back room. It was so hot.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The club can take so many, but we try to separate it so that it's pretty even on both sides of the bar. But I think last night the bar would have tipped over if it were on a level because We had a few more in the back.
So you can safely say that the Monday Night Tease is the Flintstones rack of ribs of burlesque shows.
I would not say that.
I will.
Safely nor non-safely.
I will jump out and say that. So it was the Mel Brooks show,
Yes,
yes?
it was.
And you did I'm So Tired, of course. And who was your host?
Stumpy and Mr. Snapper host as the producers.
Okay, great.
So the theme as they go through the whole show is how they're trying to put on the show and not go to jail for overselling everything, and they present each of the shows, and it's very funny. It's written very well. It's all of Mel Brooks's movies are pretty much incorporated.
Terrific.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. Good for you. And next week is that a theme show or?
Next week is Doc and Stumpy, so it's Baggy Pants Comedy, your favorite.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I don't like bags. I don't like pants.
Well,
And I
let's
certainly
say
don't like
3
comedy.
words that'll make you want to come see Doc and Stumpy.
Hmm?
Nikita, bitch, project.
All right. Well, you even threw a little Japanese twist there at the
I
end.
pronounce it the way she does now. Nikita, bitch, project.
Project. All right. Yeah, maybe if I'm around Monday. Actually, give her my number. She can give me a call, and I'll practice my my stuff.
Honestly, you should just set up themove.com, and women can just call you for that.
All right. Well, never mind. I won't say anything terrible. All right. I don't know how many words I'm going to get out, but good for you. All right. Well, good for you. And then this week is a big show, and tickets are on sale at MondayNightTees.com or BrownPaperTickets.com. And those are tickets for this week and also for future weeks. Yes? Are those on sale as well?
Yes, all the way through the end of March, I think it's on sale now.
And in March, you will be busy one more day a week because you have a Friday show premiering.
Dude, Friday Night Happy Hour, and I have a new Twitter account, FN Happy Hour. Woo!
Twitter.com/FN Happy Hour. Follow that to get all the information about the Friday Night Happy Hour. Also at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Man, I'm going to lose you. Eventually, you're going to get a Wednesday offer, and you're going to
Eventually,
get...
I'm going to have my own venue.
Oh.
We'll do live podcasts from the porn capital of the world.
Like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like because they have that little radio studio there. That's
I
perfect.
will put a studio so that we can record right there because it'll be nice.
Done. And then
Get you out of the stripper's kitchen and into the burlesque house.
and then we'll have a phone bank set up so Ramon the Sex Vampire can take all the calls there, I hope.
Ramon the Sex Vampire.
I've never been so happy for an idea and so sad when it was taken away
I was so
4 minutes
pissed when I
later.
found it, too. I had no idea. 'Cause I'm like, we are going to make millions.
All right. Well, so that's great. So this coming week is the Baggy Pants comedy of Doc and Stumpy. And then last week was Mel Brooks. And tickets are always on sale at MondayNightTees.com. And you can go to the BrownPaperTickets.com and Google or put in Lily's name or put in Monday Night Tees or put in Friday Night Happy Hour because those tickets are on sale now as well. And is there a special for that first
2
week?
for 1 for the happy hour for all of March.
All of March, 2 for 1 for Friday nights to go in for Friday Night Happy Hour. And the best part about that is once the show's, guys can go out and do whatever, or you can hang out there and drink if you want. But it's an early enough show and it ends fairly. It's only like an hour, right, or something like that. Yeah, so check it out.
9.
Good. Ha ha! Of course it is 69
And the show is at 8 o'clock.
up top. Good. Glad to hear it. Please go to Facebook.com/the40year-old boy and be my friend and find all of the pages that are there to tell me to come to your town. Montreal, London, Hampton Roads, Virginia. There's a few of them that exist. If you want to start another one, contact me and we can start it. I don't know when I can start booking those shows because right now I have shows out there ready to be purchased. I should tell you, that would be kind of cool if you bought tickets because, we're getting close on some of them. The first one is March 2nd in San Antonio, Texas at the Woodlawn Black Box Theater. Tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com. That's a Saturday night. Also Saturday night, March 9th at Mount Clemens, Michigan at the Box Theater. Tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com. March 29th at the Headwaters Theater in Portland, Oregon. Go ahead and buy tickets for that, please, Portland. I would appreciate it. Once all of your tax checks come in, that was the thing everybody told me when I talk about buying tickets. Everybody's like, as soon as I get my tax refund check, you're in. So good for you. I hope they come soon and you can buy some tickets for that, especially San Antonio. I would like to sell more tickets there. And also April 5th, please remember, I am taping my CD. My first CD ever in the Darkroom Theater in San Francisco, April 5th. Come out and check that show out. Please be there to support. That would be great. I would appreciate it. Tickets are on sale now at Brown Paper Tickets for all of these shows. March 2nd in San Antonio, March 9th in Mount Clemens, Michigan, March 29th in Portland, and then April 5th at the Darkroom Theater. Come on out. support those shows. ASpecialThing.com is supporting that show, and they're recording it. It's their record label and all that stuff. So go ahead and get tickets to come and see any or all of those shows and see the show take shape and then see the finished product on April 5th. That'd be great. Please remember to go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. We got plenty of stuff there for you to peruse and check out and possibly purchase. We've got mugs from Zazzle.com, Thorgar and Yeep and Fireboy. We've got tweakedaudio.com/40, who have been very cool and supported the show, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. So go ahead and get autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds and cock ring watches, available only at tweakedaudio.com/40. Autographed prints of any of the artwork for the show are available for sale there at Joe Business at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. And I should tell Rich and Mark that today I finally had Lily autograph your artwork, and so it is going out tomorrow morning, which is Wednesday morning. So it might even be to you by the time you hear this show. Who knows, folks? Who knows? And also, someone ordered a T-shirt while I was out of town, and that T-shirt's coming too as well. Mike, let's see, the Schmitty Comes Alive download, the $5 audio download is available. It's 90 minutes in a good representation of what this show is. So go ahead and pick that up. I'd appreciate it. It's a story never heard on this show, never will be heard on this show. It's only available through Schmitty Comes Alive. The download link at joebusiness.com. And T-shirts, Red Boy and Scar Panda, always available. Extra large through small are available right now. And also, please remember, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 of this podcast are available individually or all together as the podcast of the Caribbean set. Who among you does not want to have Curse of the Black Schmidt in your collection? I can't know. I can't decide. I can't think. I couldn't possibly guess. I'm sure all of you are on board for that. And I leave you by telling you, well, first of all, hopefully when you hear this, I will be a newly minted contestant of Wheel of Fortune. I will have impressed all of them with my activities. But, it's funny. It's dangerous to give this out now because I wrote them today, Tuesday, and they may write me back tomorrow, which is Wednesday. But then you guys aren't going to hear this till Thursday, and then you're going to send them emails. But I don't fucking care, quite frankly. Go ahead and write it. Go ahead and write Lee at woodrocket.com. That's Lee at woodrocket, WOODROCKET.com. Send Lee a note just telling him that you think I should be the guy for woodrocket.com. Come on, get me in a room with nude porn stars. The nude porn stars and me. Could any of you out there dream of a better combination? I don't think you could. I don't think I could, quite frankly. I should be, because again, the best part about it is that I don't even have to be funny. Like, I can try to be funny, and that's just kind of gravy as we watch some porn star writhe on a countertop naked. That's perfect. Some guy dressed as SpongeBob getting a blowjob. Perfect. And I'm just there in the corner trying to be sort of funny. Because I have a tone. Because you know why? Because I talk quickly and I don't fucking think. That's why. I think that's what it means when you have a tone. Is you don't fucking bother to care what comes flying out of your goddamn mouth. I try to grow the show and I want people to get on board and they're like, I listen to it and you talk too fast. Really, I talk too fast. How the hell else am I supposed to cram all of this into a small 3-hour window? Dude, there's no script. I just go over this shit on the fly. It makes me laugh. If it doesn't make you laugh, turn the fucking station. And by turn the station, I mean turn the wheel of your car right into a guardrail. Jesus fuck. Hey, where you going, boy, 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 boy?